really excited to talk about something which is so relevant in our lives. I want to straightway start with my first question. I want to come to you, Mr. Sharma, just to get a context of when we talk about ensuring seamless governance and public service delivery. How much has changed? We of course know a lot has changed, but how much has it impacted the efficiency of the system in your view? And what next for it? What next for the public in terms of getting more benefits out of it, quicker services out of it?
Good morning, everybody. It's always a pleasure to be with the business world and talk about different relevant topics. So you have picked up a very good thing, I would say, Ruhail. It is like seamless governance and public service delivery, as rightly pointed out by Dr. Rajendra also in his last talk. This is the basic, I would say, the content and the basic thing upon which everything hinges these days. Because you see, we started with e-governance reforms maybe some couple of decades ago, or maybe earlier than that. But now we have reached a point, I can't say saturation level, but then public wants things to be more, they want things at a ready platter. They can't wait actually, and they are very I won't say they have become impatient, but then the technology has moved so thick and fast, like they want everything to be available at their doorstep. So providing a seamless governance is a very good idea, and I believe I'm so happy to know that Government of India is very, very focused. And recently we had a visit of Honorable IT Minister and even Honorable MOS, IT MOS here as a part of the public outreach program in Jammu and Kashmir. In last 1 month span, less than 1 month only, I happened to spend quality time with both of them. And they also shared a clear-cut vision that they want this thing to happen within no time. Like I can just share a couple of examples. Like during the visit of Honorable IT Minister, he was in Riyasi district, if you have heard about it, where Mata Vaishno Devi Shrine is.
I'm from the same UT, yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah. So you know much more than anybody else. So I mean to say, it's for everybody to know. So there we just zeroed in on few things. We were in Riyasi district and whole day we spent. And one particular thing we finalized there and then only to provide seamless connectivity to people. And we decided there and then only, like Mata Vaishno Devi Shrine, en route the whole shrine, as well as Shiv Khodi Shrine. There are two popular things out there. So we thought that we will provide them hotspots and Wi-Fi connectivity, like the concept is going on. He is coincidentally Railways Minister of India as well. So he said, like in railways we are giving, why not? So we just had a brainstorming session, and I have already deputed teams and they are working upon it. Very soon we will have hotspots available. So that's part of the seamless, governance and connectivity to people. And then let's go further ahead. Like we are trying to reach to the doorstep of the citizens. And a part of that only, like we are going to enter into a tie-up with CSC SPV. I just had a word with CMD Shri Tyagi, and they'll be more than happy to partner with us, with the government of the UT of Jammu and Kashmir. And we will be providing services to the doorstep of the citizen. Like we'll see, earlier people used to, traditionally people had to visit offices to get their works done. Then the paradigm shift took place. Online services started coming up, and like through SSDG, service delivery gateways. And now the one step ahead of it, we are planning. I think in Delhi, some similar kind of model is already in place. Just on a phone call, people can approach the system and the government for different departments and services. And VLE will go, the person who will be providing the service will go at their doorstep, will be providing the requisite service, say a certificate or whatever they require. And this model will work like here, you belong to this area, it's a hilly terrain. Most of the districts are on hilly side. So what happens is like it's sometimes difficult, accessibility is difficult, approach is difficult. So we would be reaching out to people on the hills everywhere and provisioning them services at a very, very minimal cost, whatever CSE model says. So this shows like now this has become a reality, which was actually a kind of a distant dream. Now it has become a reality just because of the reason that you see public service delivery models are changing. That was basic content of your question. So public service delivery is most important. And another important thing I want to add about our JKUT, another initiative which we have taken is we have very active public grievance redressal cell, in which none other than Honorable LG of JK, he has a vision, and even our Chief Secretary, Dr. Arun Mehta. So they actually interact with the public. We call public there, and through a connectivity, we are reaching out to them. We are listening to their grievances with all secretaries. We all sit alongside with Honorable LG sir, and there is a prompt disposal of whatever complaints and issues public have. So public delivery models are changing thick and fast, and we are actually very happy to accommodate people and help them out. Whichever suggestions keep, the forums are open. We are ready to accommodate whatever they keep telling us. We keep incorporating and come up with solutions. On the same line, last thing I want to add on here, like we have a concept of Awam Ki Awaz. Just like Honorable PM goes for Man Ki Baat, our LG Saab goes for Awam Ki Baat. So Awam Ki Awaz. In that, he listens to the grievances of the public and he discusses, shares in that. You know, he keeps the things keep, and it has become very popular. Things keep coming to him, and he keeps redressing them this way. So this way, multiplicity of models are required. Not one model is required that only you have SSDG, that Public Service Guarantee Act in place. You have to actually deliver. You have to reach out to people. So that model really helps, and I believe JK is leading in that with multiplicity of models.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Sharma, for sharing those valuable insights. Mr. Similarly to you, travel has, of course, taken a huge hit because of COVID. And we know, we have talked about that COVID as the chief digital officer to say, it has acted like that, it has had that kind of effect. When we talk about, the impact and the seamlessness that it ensured, the digital system, infrastructure, give me a sense of how you used it. Was it easy? Was it tough to implement and take the digital first approach, even for the people you were serving too? Was it easier for them to adapt? What was the story like from your side?
Thank you, Mr. Ruhail. Very good morning. Let me at the outset also thanks Businessworld for having me here. I also greet all my co-panelists who are part of this particular panel discussion. But quickly coming back to the topic, Ruhail, when I typically see towards public service delivery at large, public governance at large, and then how does this technology, especially since we are discussing about the emerging technology, advanced technology, and how they are playing a very big role, probably the last couple of years, or let's say last 3-4 years. And what I also foresee is another, I'll say, next 5-7 years, if you see, there will be a paradigm shift when we talk about government, a governance at large, public service delivery at large. And to my mind, if you ask me, to my mind, especially, there are 5-6 sectors, which will be, kind of a maximum using this emerging technology, advanced technology, to kind of create an environment where you as a citizen, I as a citizen, we feel collaborated, we feel converged, we feel synergized. These are the very important things you have to achieve in governance, public service delivery. Now, let me give, when I say these 5-6 sectors, the first and foremost sector is, definitely I feel the public tax administration at large. public provisioning of public services at large. Now, if I talk about the tax administration, provisioning of public services at large, again, two, three things comes to my mind, Rohil. Now, when we talk about the tax administration, tell me how much of percentage are the taxpayers in India? Now, if you see the global ranking, vis-a-vis, if you see the global ranking, the other good thing which now we are progressing is, if I see on the world governance indicator of the World Bank ranking, the developing countries like India, Indonesia, Philippines, Thailand, they rank somewhere in between 50 to 60 in the global ranking, in the World Bank ranking. However, if you see and look towards the advanced economic like Japan and let's say Singapore, their global ranking on the governance indicator, Japan ranking is 93. Yeah, Singapore ranking is somewhere near 100. So while it comes to leveraging technology, I really I am really happy to see that India is ranking somewhere in 50 vis-a-vis if we compare with the advanced economics, right? And there that's why I personally feel that when we talk about India, the opportunity looks enormous. The future looks enormous in terms of leveraging this emerging technology. And what are these emerging technology we are talking about? When I'm talking about improving tax administration, provisioning of public services, education, health, let's say land management system, whatever I talk about, again, there are 5, 6 emerging technology, Rohil. You will see that we will all realize that they will play a very important role. And to start with, the first emerging technology which will be impacting huge in all sense, in all spectrum of the society, is the artificial intelligence and machine learning. You will realize, and even today I am realizing that most of our public service delivery is applications are based on AI driven applications, right? Machine learning driven applications. They are able to kind of precisely predict what is going to come tomorrow. You just gave me an example of the pandemic, global pandemic, right? You know how much we have utilized AI as a tool, how much we have utilized another emerging technology like big data is a tool. While we are tracing, tracking, treating those kind of the people who were suffering through this pandemic, right? So AI, machine learning, big data. When I say big data, especially the unstructured data sets, we always talk about the structured data set which is within our own premises, within my own data center. But what about the unstructured data set which is floating across the internet, the big data part, right? So the big data will be the another kind of a huge area. You'll see that the governance at large, the government at large, the ministry at large, they utilize maximum. Even I am utilizing as part of my passport delivery system, whether it is AI or whether it is big data, right? Then the third technology, which again I feel is the blockchain. Now, blockchain is a technology when we are all fighting towards a cyber security issues, cyber security threats. You'll see that blockchain is a technology that will be largely leveraged by our economy sector. When I say economy sector, that is the banking, fintech sectors, education sector, health services. No, the blockchain will be utilized maximum, because the beauty of the blockchain is the service delivery can be near to the user. Wherever you are, I can deliver that services without compromising the data security, privacy, so and so forth.
Right.
Another two important points before I sum up, I just quickly want to touch upon, saying that when we are talking about a digital economy of, let's say, $1 trillion kind of a digital economy, and overall economy size of, let's say, $5 trillion of digital economy, it's not about the IT or ITS sector alone. It's not at all about the IT and ITS sector alone. It's about how do you bring in your core sector into the mainstream. And when I say core sector, it is about agriculture sector, it is about education sector, it is about health sector. And the beauty of these emerging technology, beauty of these advanced technologies, they have the power to bring in an intelligent transformation to the core sector. And if we can do that, no, as I said, the opportunity is huge, enormous. So that's how I sum up, Rohit.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Simli, and Mr. Rajan, who's been patiently listening to us and to the perspectives. Sir, to you, give me a sense of how the landscape of emerging technologies in the public sector has shaped up over the last couple of years, and also about your specific, the lookout that you have. How have things shaped up over the last 2 years? I mean, over the last maybe 1 year and 1.5 years.
Good morning, Mr. Amin. Good morning, everybody, all the other panelists. I would not give you last 2 years' effort. I will just tell you something which is different from other panelists have spoken. It's government in business, in the business of infrastructure financing. That is exactly what I am doing after retiring in the month of March from the government. I have joined as additional Chief Executive Officer, not as CEO, as additional CEO of Kerala Infrastructure Investment Fund Board. The Chief Executive Officer is one officer of 1982 batch IAS, Dr. K.M. Abraham. He has moved additionally in additional charge as Principal Secretary to Chief Minister. So that has given us a big, what should I say, huge. I mean, as such, KIFBI has been creation of our present Chief Minister, Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan. When way back in 1999, he came out with the act, but it took almost 17 years for him to become the Chief Minister of Kerala and to look at this segment of funding outside the budget. And I would be sharing with you that we have today sanctioned projects worth 65,000 crores in road, in health, in IT infrastructure, and so on and so forth. I mean, a small organization with a limited number, 150, 130, 140 key people, how have we been managing such huge degree of, projects? Each department, PWD is a huge department. Each department of the government is a huge department. We are a small organization, a statutory body under the Act. And we have SPVs, special purpose vehicles, which are basically public sector undertakings. They could be in health, they could be in road, they could be in waterworks. We have been managing it through technologies. So the key thing is what I would like to share with all of you is that Dr. K.M. Abraham, personally, he is a civil engineer and he's also done his post-graduation in engineering and also done a doctoral degree, has taken a doctoral degree. He can write programs very well. So he's many of these things, he has personally contributed as far as the programming efforts are concerned. One most important thing which helps us manage is the project and finance management system. Now, our projects start right from the time the government approves and says this particular fund will not come from the budget, this particular fund will come from KIFBI. That is the short form for our organization. They have to upload into our project finance management system. So you see, we run a system, but we have to train the government departments who have interface with us into running of these systems. So right from then they select an SPV. So a special purpose vehicle is selected, and then the project is in principle approved by the KIFBI board, which is chaired by the Chief Minister. So once it is board, we give the financial sanction. So from the financial sanction to the tendering by the SPV to the payment to the contractor, this entire gamut is there on the project finance management system, which I personally consider a much higher upgrade of a office we have e-office system, and you must know that e-office also has been, Kerala's huge contribution. Kerala has been always leading in e-office as far as the country is concerned. But this project finance management system is a huge improvement on this, where from the project approval to the payment to the contractor, everything is there on the system. So this is one thing. We also have introduced something which is very simple, but you look at this, meeting information system. See, governments run through the meetings. Now the meetings, as soon as the meetings, the minutes are approved, they get uploaded and automatically distributed to all the members of the meeting. This is again a system which has helped us, keep a close tab on the organizations, all the SPVs that we have. The most important, apart from these two things, the most important thing that we are running is an asset liability model. Because see, KIFBI 65,000 crores, the government has been giving us money. So far, government in the last 6 years has given us around 7,000 crores. But we have taken loans and other way that will be roughly around 15,000 crores. So how to ensure that when a particular project, the payment gets completed and the payment is to be done, how best do we have the funds at that point of time? For ensuring that we have the funds, we are able to have funds, we have this system called asset liability model. It has the ability to model any scenario based on input parameters and subject to certain management determined rules and conditions. It is, ensures accurate and timely data for analysis, comprehensive predictive model based upon artificial intelligence. Mr. Kumar was talking about artificial intelligence is one of the major technologies there. We're using that technology in our asset liability model. So essentially, we are a funding organization to ensure that we have the funds, we have this asset liability management, to ensure that we have the right controls over the people, we have this. And now, since, even an organization like KIFBI has been attempted in Karnataka and in Telangana. Telangana is, of course, absolutely not working. Tamil Nadu has not been successful, but in Kerala so far, this outside the budget financing organization, because of our technological inputs, we have been able to do very well under the leadership of Honorable Chief Minister and our CEO. So this is a slightly different kind of a take, which I thought I would like to share with you. That's why I accepted.
Thanks, Mr. Ranjan. Wonderfully put it across. And I want to move to my second question, starting with you, Mr. Sharma. We're in the last year of this last quarter of this year, and when it comes to e-governance, what are some of the learnings, if you and what is coming up? If we look at J&K, for example, just give me a sense of it. I want to request all my panelists to keep their answers to 3 minutes, so I can ask one more question post this.
Right. So, Ruhail, as you already, the tone has been set and wonderful contributions from all our co-panelists. There's different kind of perspectives. Govt, actually, we have been meeting earlier in those conferences when we used to be there, and now this is online virtual. Anyways, I am sure we'll be back soon on that platform. But like he shared wonderful perspectives, be it related to big data.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you to see you here. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Like, we have been meeting often, so hope to catch up soon, either officially or otherwise in some conference soon. And you're welcome. You all are welcome to be here in Jammu and Kashmir. Even Ruhail will do so. The place has a lot of things to attract you for. So anyways, let's get back to the important part we were discussing. So absolutely, in this last quarter, Ruhail, you're talking about like This is very, very important, critical, when you are coming to the closing of the financial year. And this quarter obviously means a lot to many. As far as JK is concerned, we have adapted and done so many good things here just to talk about and to build upon from here onwards. I've been talking in the past also, and again, I would share that implementing e-office was a historical step in Jammu and Kashmir, especially if we go by the thing like here, things were not at all how they should have been. Like civil secretariat, there's a peculiar thing here. Civil secretariat operates from two capitals. I am sure you all are aware, like winter capital and summer capital. So in those times, like we used to physically carry the record when secretariat used to move, the whole capital used to move. All records of departments in trucks and all, very traditional way to carry them. And we used to joke around that if one truck falls in the river running across on the national highway and the Chenab River, everything will, the whole department will vanish. So apart from the joke, there's on the serious note, one very important thing we need to understand, a lot of effort, lot of resources, and then probably impact on environment and whatnot is, and risk was involved in such things. So for us, implementing e-office was the need of the hour, because with it, we could have made both the civil secretariats live and operational simultaneously in both the capital cities. So that was a kind of thing which was not possible over last 2 decades, which we made possible in the beginning of this financial year. But for that, again, a strong will is required from the top to bottom, and primarily at the top, like everybody supported us, right? From LG office to everybody out there. It was a great support which had flown to us, and because of which we were able to implement it, and e-office is running so successfully now. Yesterday only, we had a big we basically analyzed that files are moving so fast here. Thousands of files are moving. There was a meeting headed by Chief Secretary. The government is so focused, like data analytics is going on, like where files are stopping, why stopping, which secretary, which level. So you can understand the contention and seriousness in implementing it. Similarly, we had some other major things which have happened over the past few months, and we're looking forward to build upon that, like implementation of SWAN all across in Jammu and Kashmir. Then we have taken it to the block level, and a very unique project came up here, which was DVC, Digital Village Centers. Again, we use the blockchain technology there. Through MPLS, we have connected far-flung areas, like we have gone up to the panchayat level. Connectivity has gone up to panchayat level, and we can have access, like people can have access from the panchayat of the top officers, and not only officers, they can even connect with Honorable LG, everybody out there who are sitting at the helm of affairs to get their grievances and everything redressed, and we can reach out to them easily. We don't have to be physically there. So DVC has played a big role in JK. Similarly, we have been coming up with a lot of models in coming days, like we want to actually help people in a much more professional manner, like already told you, and the model I just talked about, CSC collaboration, and we'll be entering into MOU with centers of excellence soon, like Kashmir University, NILET, and other, for that matter, we have Shri Mata Vaishno Devi University. So they have a lot of centers of excellence from where we can put up things. We are into the process of revamping the whole of the LAN, the wireless connectivity. As I told you, hotspots are coming up, and under smart city, command and control centers are coming up. So we will be having a lot of things like which will be public centric, and where we will be reaching out with usage of artificial intelligence models. Right. So, because that is the future. Future lies with that only. So this is where we have moved further and forward, and let's see what comes up next.
Absolutely. Mr. Simli, your thoughts on what is coming up? What are the big challenges that we still need to address when it comes to e-governance and emerging technologies?
No, absolutely, Mr. Ruhail, and Mr. Amit has touched upon some of the point. In fact, I love this my passion actually when you talk about emerging technology. And as I was saying, no, the idea is how do we bring the core sectors part of the digital economy, and when we are looking towards bringing the core sectors again, Rohil, two major thing comes to my mind is how do we create a data economy? And when I say data economy, I think I was listening to our ace from METI saying that, again, to my mind, there are two things comes very heavily. One is, you might have heard about earlier SEZ, Special Economic Zone, right? Now, those days are gone. Those days are gone. Today, we have to see for a data economic zone. Today, we have to see for a cloud economic zone. And these are the two very kind of a powerful strength potential for the country. If we can create those cloud economic zone, if we can create those data economic zone, and how do you get into there? There are again two factors plays a very key role. One is how do you bring in people participation and how do you bring in industry participation? And believe me, the programs, the big programs, whether it is a passport seva, whether it is a Aadhaar, whatever you name it, unless you have these two participation in place, the industry participation and people participation, and then creating an innovative kind of a business model, which is a win-win scenario for everyone. When I say everyone, for the industry, for the government, for the people who are part of the service delivery ecosystems, right? So once you create this kind of a environment, then Rohil, you will also see that while we are going leap and bound towards this kind of emerging technology, we are talking about moving our workload into the cloud or the hybrid cloud away. Two very important things we have to keep in mind is how do we create a data strategy and how do we create a data governance model where your and mine data is safe, where the people participating into a government ecosystem feel safe and secure when it comes to data, right? When it's use and reuse of data, when it comes to secondary use of data, I think that is the big thing we all have to look forward. And when I say how do you create a data strategy or a data governance model on a emerging technology kind of era, which is adding to our digital economy or the overall economy in a sense, I personally feel then when we are devising this kind of a data strategy, we have to look for 5 Ws, how you secure your 5 Ws. And these 5 Ws, I always say that nothing but your workload, your workforce, your workspace, your workflow, and your web. If you can secure these 5 Ws through a good data strategy, through a good data governance model, and when I talk about a data governance model, I'll take half a minute more saying that there again, there are 4 quadrants we have to see: the people quadrant, the execution model, the rules of engagement, and the tools and technologies you deploy. If you are in control of this, if you can create that kind of a visible environment, if you can create that kind of a transparent environment, I personally feel that creating that kind of a governance, public service delivery model, provisioning of service delivery to the poorest man in the village, to the remotest part of the country becomes easy. And probably that is what I am doing as part of Passport Seva program. So that's how I put it, Rohit. That's how I put it. Thank you.
And I can't afford to do that right now because I'm sitting with digital stalwart here. So, Mr. Ranjan, coming to you, you earlier spoke about the way Kerala has, pushed the newer boundaries when it comes to adoption of digital in the public space. Give me a sense of, are there any areas of improvement that, or the challenges that still need to be addressed? And what are those challenges?
See, the major challenge, I mean, the Additional Secretary said that broadband is there all over India. But we all know the quality of that broadband. I mean, in the village areas, in certain remote areas, it's pathetic. And Kerala again has been putting up optical fiber, connecting all the public offices, panchayat offices. So we'll have presence all over the state, which that connectivity will be used. That's a KIFBI supported project for 1,200 crores. Bharat Electronics Limited is doing it. And inspired by what Kerala is doing, now Karnataka is doing. So Amit has been doing great job in Jammu and Kashmir. So, and he needs connectivity more than anybody else. So I would suggest to Amit as well, that, he should, in J&K also, the optical fiber network should be put in place. Once you put that in place, then only we will be able to say that people are connected. Connectivity today is not there for, I would not hazard a percentage guess, but for many people, mostly from the poor people. And after we realize online education has come to stay, if we do not provide connectivity, we will be doing injustice to people. That's one. Second challenge, Mr. Simli has told very beautifully. The government has more. We must have data security for government. Is so important because so much of data is now personal data is residing on the government platforms, and that has to be secured. So that, to my mind, is the second biggest challenge.
Right. Great. I have 6 more minutes and I want to take my final question, starting with you, Mr. Sharma, is that we are closer to 2022. What are the focus areas for you for this year, for the coming year?
Yeah, for the coming year, as already pointed out, and our co-panelist Satyajit sir was saying, so let me share, key area is to take, first of all, connectivity to every nook and corner. We have a challenging place. Ruhail knows better than anybody else sitting here. You see some places like Gurez or Dudu Basantgarh in Jammu region or Mahor, they are little bit cut off, Kupwada, some higher ranges. So you see, we need to take connectivity and let me share to everybody here that we are taking BharatNet connectivity in a big way. BBNL is doing the project here, that we are taking fiber to actually every household. The idea is to take it to every household. And yes, in the recent visit of Honorable Minister also, we did the same thing. We actually geared up regarding both the ministers. MOS also came. Our focus is to take connectivity to the last mile user. And I'm totally focused. As a part of the policy, as a part of our chief secretaries, our LG Saab's vision, and even my efforts, we are totally focused to take it to the last mile user. And in yesterday's cost meeting only, we have finalized that 1,100 nodes of BharatNet, which are already spread out in phase 1 in different villages, they should be operational. I took a meeting yesterday only on the same. So I know that the actual success lies in that only, when it reaches the last mile user. Otherwise, whatever efforts, whatever portals we are creating, like Dr. Ajendra was saying, they were wonderful visionary ideas which Government of India is looking at, like platform-based services, shifting from app-based services. I was just jotting down a few things. Already, CoWIN has shown a tremendous success all across the nation, and it has become a model, global model actually, to be replicated. So I endorse this idea, basic connectivity, either through MPLS we have reached to people, and no BharatNet cable we are taking. But I want to add on here that my challenge is of multiplicity of things, because in JK what actually happens is, like, we have areas which are cut off, like we talk about a district Kishtwad, higher ranges, we have Dachan, Madhwa, where still connectivity is a challenge. So what we do, we take things like VSAT connectivity is the only option. And you all know VSAT, Yeah, and VSAT has limited options, like it can't spread like fiber. BharatNet, we can give 5 nodes to major government institutions, but through VSAT, there is a limitation. It can't have that much spread. It will have only 1 node or something like that, VSAT connectivity. So challenges are there due to the tough terrains out here, hilly terrains, and then most of the areas remain snowbound 5-6 months. Thankfully, infrastructure is coming up big way. Let me share that our road connectivity towards Lake Kargil will be open this year onwards. That's an infrastructural breakthrough again. A tunnel is coming up and it would make it through this year. This time, 12 months Lake Kargil will be open even in winters. So this is again an achievement in J&K. For the first time, we are connecting up towards the next UT, which was earlier part of JK state. So that this way we are coming up big way. Our ideas are going thick and fast. And I am sure with the cooperation and with the players, like I would even say you people sitting at Businessworld, if you can connect the best of the best technology people with us, I'll be more than happy to welcome them with the red carpet here in JK. So I am ready to accept everybody with good ideas. And I as CEO e-governance agency also, I am open to execute those ideas in the field. The only thing is we require total support from everywhere across the globe.
Definitely. Thank you so much. Quickly, Mr. Simli, your thoughts on the 2022 vision that you have and the top priorities, and then Mr. Ranjan, final word.
Yeah, no, thank you. I think some of the issues, some of the challenges, they are going to exist, but we have to also find a way. For an example, the connectivity issue at the remote areas or a difficult terrain. I personally feel, and that's why the beauty of emerging technology is all about. We are now coming up with 5G technology. You know, the speed of 5G technology is almost 100 times faster than the 4G technology. There is almost the latency zero. So we'll have to look those kind of a technology, emerging technology, which you have to go to the remotest part and see that the services are delivered there and there. And that's why I said it's a combination of technology, whether it is a 5G, whether it is a cloud, whether it is a blockchain. These will bring beauty to address those sections of the society who are actually left out masses of our country, or bringing them into the mainstream. The second very important thing I also like to quickly say, saying that it is no more government alone, Ruhail. I always say that it is no more government alone. You have to innovate business model where industry is playing a very big role to address these issues, right? And once you have that kind of a innovative model, service delivery model, I especially find that realigning or kind of a rethinking, or sometimes even you're rebooting your entire strategy. I typically tell them 3L: realign, rethink, and reboot if it is needed, right? If you take that strategy, take industry participate route, opportunities are enough. We have to just leverage those opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sharma, Mr. Ranjan, and Mr. Simli for joining us on this discussion. And we hope to have many more such conversations. Thanks for taking out.
Thank you. Always a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.